So becoming an Alzheimer's whisperer is a gentle approach without making demands on the person. It's flexible because sometimes the way somebody is today is not the way they're going to be tomorrow. So we have to be willing to change our approach. It can be fun. You can actually enjoy this, and hopefully by the time we finish, you'll have some strategies to really enjoy it. It's very, very creative. There's not one answer or one strategy that fits every person. You're going to need to know your loved one or your friend, what their story was, what makes them unique. And from that uniqueness, you're going to be able to determine what are interventions, strategies, responses that are appropriate for that person. It requires that you think outside the box and be creative. What does it mean to think outside the box? Well, a couple years ago, I was speaking at a conference in Florida, and I was speaking on communicating as an Alzheimer's whisperer. And after I finished the presentation, I was putting away my laptop and my projector and all of my equipment, and there was this one gentleman that lingered in the room. And as I left the room, he said, "Dr. Carson, I have something to ask you before you leave." Well, he really didn't want to ask me anything. He wanted to explain something to me. He said, "You know, I've been seeing my mom, who's been in an assisted living facility. I see her at least 3 times a week. She's diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease." He said, "So to my credit, I'm a faithful visitor." He said, "But that's where it ends in terms of my getting credit." He said, "Because our visits almost always end with her saying something like, 'Oh, get the hell out of here.'" And I say, "Why is she angry with you when you leave?" He said, "Oh, it's my fault." He said, "Because she tells me stories that never really occurred in real time. They never happened. And I am so intent on correcting her, she gets really angry with me. And after I've corrected her for most of the visit, she finally throws up her hands and tells me to get out of here." He said, "But I listened to you tonight, and I recognize the idea that I have to think differently. I have to not correct my mother, but maybe I have to join her in those stories and say, 'Mother, it sounds like you were having a marvelous time. Was I there? Who else was there? Tell me more about it.' Then I'll have a conversation with her." That is so important, guys. It's thinking beyond what we normally consider.